In a quaint little village, nestled between emerald hills and shimmering rivers, lived a young potter named Aditya. He had inherited his craft from generations of potters in his family and had a knack for creating intricate designs that adorned his earthenware. Despite his skill, Aditya often felt inadequate. His pottery business was modest, and while he earned enough to sustain his family, he constantly compared himself to Ravi, the village's wealthiest jeweler. Ravi was everything Aditya thought he was not. He was affluent, well-dressed, and constantly surrounded by admirers praising his jewels' brilliance. Aditya couldn't help but wonder why life had favored Ravi, while his own talents remained underappreciated. This comparison soon turned into an obsession, leaving Aditya bitter and dissatisfied with his own life. One day, while collecting clay by the riverbank, Aditya met an old hermit sitting under a banyan tree. The hermit was carving a piece of driftwood into a beautiful figurine. Curiosity got the better of Aditya, and he asked, "Why do you spend your time carving wood when you could be doing something more rewarding?" The hermit chuckled and replied, "What makes you think this isn't rewarding? Every stroke of my chisel, every curve I carve brings me joy. That's reward enough." "But," Aditya countered, "wouldn't it be better to create something more valuable, like gold or silver? This piece of wood will never fetch you much." The hermit smiled knowingly. "Do you think the river envies the mountain because it doesn't stand tall? Or does the flower envy the tree because it cannot provide shade? Each serves its purpose, and that is enough. The wood doesn't wish to be gold, just as I don't wish to be someone else. Tell me, young man, are you living your purpose?" Aditya was taken aback. He hadn't thought of his work as a purpose, just a means to an end. The hermit's words lingered in his mind long after their meeting. That night, Aditya lay awake, reflecting on his craft. He realized he had always been happiest while shaping clay on his potter's wheel. The texture of the earth in his hands, the transformation of a lump of mud into something beautiful, it was magic. Somewhere along the way, his joy had been overshadowed by his fixation on what he lacked. Determined to rekindle his passion, Aditya poured his heart into his work. He experimented with new designs, drew inspiration from nature, and added his unique touch to each piece. Gradually, his creations began attracting attention. Villagers marveled at the intricate patterns and the stories his pottery seemed to tell. Word spread, and soon merchants from nearby towns came to purchase his wares. Despite his growing success, Aditya no longer cared about comparing himself to Ravi. He realized that the jeweler's path was different from his own. Each had their role to play, and each life was beautiful in its own way. Aditya's happiness was no longer tied to external validation, but stemmed from the fulfillment he found in his craft. Years later, Aditya became renowned for his artistry. He was invited to exhibitions in distant cities, and his pottery graced the homes of nobles and commoners alike. Yet, he remained grounded, never forgetting the lesson the hermit had taught him. One day, while teaching a group of children the art of pottery, one of them asked, "Master, why don't you make jewelry like Ravi? You could be even richer." Aditya smiled and replied, "Riches don't define a person's worth. Like clay, life shapes us differently. Some become pots, some become jewels. The important thing is to embrace who you are and give it your all. Remember, the flower never envies the tree." The moral of the story is, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Everyone has their unique journey, purpose, and gifts to offer. Happiness comes not from measuring yourself against others, but from embracing your own path and living it fully. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it inspiring. Until next time, stay positive and keep shining bright. See you in the next video.